Hi Vic, good to be here with you today, talking about Mercia and our relationship. It's been 10 years, the relationship with Mercia and MyWorkpapers, but you joined in 2021, and what was your introduction to MyWorkpapers when you started?
So I heard that MyWorkpapers and Mercia had a fabulous product that they'd created, and it was really serving a purpose for our mutual clients on all of their engagements.
So Vic, the advent of the cloud and with technology changing and practices, where do you think the position with Mercia is and the opportunities for us to go forward in the next 10 years?
I think there's an abundance of opportunity. I think as more practices embrace digitisation, and that's a must-do rather than a should-do now, that creates just a wealth of opportunity. And I think, in terms of the increase in regulatory landscape as well, that affords us even more opportunity. And digitisation is the future in terms of efficiency and quality. So we've been hugely successful today, and I can only see that increasing.
Yeah, look, totally agree. I think the digitisation of the firms and moving into the cloud and pressure on workflow and transparency and, we know from our client base or mutual client base that the firms are wanting to work remotely, work in office, be able to work anywhere, and also, the pressures in terms of productivity and content is a key thing. Content for engagements, getting the consistency of work, and also quality control. So, quality control is a big thing from your team with file reviews. Do you see that being done more on site now or remotely?
It's a blend, really. I think there's a lot that our clients get out of seeing one of our consultants and our consultants being on site, but it really it's at their choice. Some prefer it to be an electronic review, and others prefer it to be sort of face to face. So there's a blend, really, Rich, and we can tailor our services to meet their needs. But in terms of the conducting of engagements, I think what digitisation brings to it in terms of transparency is hugely important, not just from a productivity perspective, as you say, but from a quality perspective too. So, Mercia's got a key role to play in that, and keeping that content up to date and as accurate as possible to keep all these engagements compliant. Yeah,
I see our clients using us as a platform, but the key part of the success of the relationship has been in the last 10 years is that familiarity with the Mercia content and the application and using it. So, look, Vic, MyWorkpapers is a software being used in practice. So, firms are moving from adopting what have been previously paper-based paper files and now working in the cloud and software like ours. I think the familiarity of the Mercia workpapers and manuals helps with that transition from their shift to moving in the cloud and working online. From your point of view, how have you seen, or how do you see the quality changing in that, or do you see the workflow changing in that? Or?
So in terms of workflow, I think that really depends upon the client situation, the client's own procedures around how those engagements are undertaken. But certainly from a content perspective, we make sure that it's all there and it's all complete. In terms of evolution of that, absolutely, AI is going to play a huge part, and data analytics will play a huge part in the evolution of both our manuals from a content perspective and the workflow of how work is done in the future. And I would say that we've seen it really speed up in terms of clients embracing digital workflows, work papers, and software. They've seen the benefits of that, and I think maybe pushed along a little bit through sort of COVID. That possibly was a bit of an impetus to embrace tech in a way in which they hadn't previously done. But certainly they're full steam ahead with it now.
Yeah, I think we've come from a period of moving from paper-based files to doing work online, and now and again, the relationship with our platform, with your content, and the familiarity of the content of Mercia into our application, I think we're now leading, like you say, into the next stage, which is data analytics and AI. And I know that that's been a big request with our clients with having the general ledger.
Sure.
And, we've gone another stage further with helping with the work where we can push transaction changes back to the bookkeeping system and also to the accounts production tool. But AI is going to be an interesting one. I think that's had a bit of a kickstart, and we're seeing that being used in products like browsers, etc. But the application in terms of accounts production and doing a set of accounts, I think it's still a way away. But there's a lot of legacy software in the marketplace that is still desktop being used by practices, and so those changes, though they're coming, I think the early adopters will start to see them happening in the next 1 or 2 years, but I think the rest of the market's not going to see a big change for 5 years. Is that your thinking, or?
I think that's always the case with tech change. You'll always have the early adopters, I'm not going to say the brave ones or the braver ones, but everybody decides what they want to do, whether they want to be tech enabled or a tech leading business, and there's different ones out there for different reasons. I couldn't really put my finger on what the pace will be in the next 5 years, but I think just looking back and saying actually the speed at which tech has helped businesses diversify in the last 5 years, certainly, as I said, with the impetus of COVID, that speed's been quicker than ever before in the last 20. I mean, I started before Excel was around, and there was one computer in the office, and on those old paper systems, and absolutely you can see that it has sped up phenomenally so. And yeah, AI it's unknown to some. Most people have a general understanding of what it is, but there's a lot of rules and regulations that need to be thought through carefully. I agree, before you can plough headfirst into deploying that fully. But it does exist already across many applications in many formats. We are already using AI. We're probably just not coining it as much. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the more you embrace these things, the more opportunities it will bring.